We start with news from Australia, where Erin Patterson, who came to be known as the mushroom killer, has been sentenced to life in prison, with a minimum of 33 years behind bars. She was found guilty of killing 3 relatives and trying to kill another at a family lunch in 2023, where she served beef Wellington laced with toxic mushrooms. At the sentencing hearing, the judge said the substantial planning of the murders and Patterson's lack of remorse meant her sentence should be lengthy.
For the attempted murder of Erin Wilkinson, I sentence you to 25 years imprisonment. For the murder of Heather Wilkinson, I sentence you to life imprisonment. For the murder of Gail Patterson, I sentence you to life imprisonment. For the murder of Don Patterson, I sentence you to life imprisonment. All sentences are to be served concurrently. The total effective sentence is life imprisonment, and I fix a non-parole period of 33 years.
I spoke to Katie Watson, our Australia correspondent, shortly after the verdict was read.
Yeah, so she's been given life in prison for 3 murders that of Don and Gail Patterson, her in-laws, and Heather Wilkinson, Gail's sister. 3 of the guests. The 4th guest, Erin Wilkinson, he survived. She's been given 25 years for his attempted murder, all to be served concurrently. But as you said, she has been given a non-parole period of 33 years, which means if she does ever leave prison, then she will be over 80 years old. Now, it was the sentencing took about 45 minutes or so throughout the time. Just briefly, she had her eyes open at the beginning of the sentencing, but as he started talking about the impact on her children and going into more detail of what happened at that fateful lunch back in July 2023, she shut her eyes. They remained shut for the whole of the sentencing until she was asked to stand, and he delivered those 3 life sentences. Then at that point she left, gripping onto the benches as she walked by, and then she'll be taken in a police van to start her life sentence.
And Katie, I understand that Erin Wilkinson, the sole surviving lunch guest, has been speaking to the media. What's he been saying?
Yeah, the family's been hasn't given any interviews to the media. They've maintained their silence, and the community has very much protected them. But on the steps of the court, he gave a statement thanking the health professionals, thanking the lawyers, but also a message of kindness and talking about the importance of being kind. Of course, this is a very religious family, and that has been something that's been throughout the trial. And in fact, the judge made these points, talking about the fact that she committed these crimes to people who had never deserved it, who had always shown her kindness throughout her life. That's something that he made clear once again today. So yeah, we heard from Erin Wilkinson the first time he's ever actually spoken. It was a brief press conference, if you like, and then he walked off very slowly. Of course, he has not fully recovered from the effects of that lunch. He still has health problems because of that, even though, of course, he recovered. He spent a long time in hospital recovering from those death cap mushrooms that killed his wife and his brother and sister-in-law.
Yeah, and just to come back to the sentencing, this is an incredibly high-profile case. Was this level of sentencing expected?
Yeah, I mean, this has garnered worldwide attention. In fact, it was one of the reasons why the sentencing was allowed to be broadcast. Such was the importance of the case to be able to show the world the process of the sentencing and the trial. The judge also made clear that because of the notoriety of her crimes, that her life in prison will be very difficult. She's in almost isolation, spending 22 hours a day in her cell. She gets her food delivered in a metal flap under her door, and that's something that he made very clear, that this is not something that's going to go away. Her notoriety will remain with her. So she's at risk of other prisoners, and that will make her life much more difficult. But yeah, it's a trial that has seen so much attention. The media benches were packed this morning. There were people watching who'd come and accompanied the trial throughout. So it's been a very big trial here in Melbourne.